All right, welcome everyone. So glad to have you all here with us this evening or morning or afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you're joining us from. We are so glad to have all of you who are applicants to either UBC Engineering at the Vancouver or the Okanagan campus with us today. So my name is Erin. My pronouns are she, her. And I'd like to start by acknowledging the land that UBC Vancouver has built its Vancouver campus on is located on the unceded ancestral and traditional territory of the Musqueam peoples. I'd also like to acknowledge traditional owners and caretakers of the lands that you're joining us from today. I also have my colleague Kyle with me. Kyle, I'll let you do a quick introduction.
Thanks, Aaron. Hi, everyone, and welcome to this UBC Engineering presentation. We're so excited to have you here with us. My name is Kyle. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm joining you today from UBC's Okanagan campus, which is located on the unceded ancestral and traditional territory of the Syilx Okanagan Nation and their peoples. Thanks, Aaron.
Thanks, Kyle. So we have so much in store for all of you this evening, and it will hopefully be a chance for you to really learn more about the student experience in UBC Engineering, what you can expect from our campuses, our programs, and a chance for you to directly connect with some of our current students and each other. So we'll be starting with a quick introduction from Janvi, moving on to a presentation that our student panel will be a part of. Then you'll get a chance to join some networking breakout rooms where you can meet other applicants and you'll have current students present to ask all of your questions about the student experience too. So with that, I'd like to start by introducing Janvi, who's going to share a little bit about her background and why she chose UBC Engineering.
Thanks, Erin. Hi, everyone. My name is Janvi Singh. I'm a third-year civil engineering student here at UBC Vancouver campus. And I'm from Punjab, India. I moved here around a little more than 2 years ago now. And first of all, I would like to start by saying that UBC, both Kelowna, Okanagan campus, and Vancouver are beautiful. And I think the reason that I chose engineering was because I liked physics, chemistry, math, and I knew that's what I wanted to get into early on. But I was a little bit, I didn't know what program I wanted to get into, but that's the first year foundation that really helped me choose that. And I lived on campus in first year in Place Vanier, which helped me settle down, know people around me, and make friends. And one of my best friends was my roommate, and we're still friends. It's really good. And I think it's normal. It was normal I was a bit shy in my first year, but now I have a big friend group and I'm really grateful for that. And some highlights of my career, I think I'm starting my first co-op job this summer, moving out of the province, which I'm really excited for. And in the field of engineering, the aviation industry. Yeah, I'm really excited for that. Yeah, and I would just end by saying that I would say UBC Engineering has helped me become a better person in so many ways. Talking to people, being around students who are immensely passionate about their careers. And I think there's so much more to offer here. Yeah, it's definitely a place to start a professional career at. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Janvi. And if you want to know more about what some of our current students are up to, Janvi is also part of the Engineering Stories social media team. So we have students from both campuses that are part of that team. We'll give you the links for that towards the end of the presentation, but they're on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube if you want to follow along to see what life as a current student is like. So I'm going to go ahead and share my presentation now. So thanks so much, Janvi. Again, we're going to jump into that presentation that I mentioned so that you can hear more about the student experience and your next steps as well.
Hello, everyone. My name is McKenna. My pronouns are she, her. I'm in my second year. I'm actually in electrical engineering. I chose to switch back to electrical from manufacturing. I felt that it's matched my career options more closely. That's one of the great parts of the Okanagan campus is that you can change specializations pretty quickly. But yeah, it's been a really fun time so far, and I'm originally from Texas, United States.
Yeah. Hi, guys. My name is Nachiket. My pronouns are he, him. I'm a third-year mechanical engineering student at the Vancouver campus, and I originate from India.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rosine. I'm second year civil engineering student at Okanagan campus, and I'm also working as the international peer for the School of Engineering. So in coming days, you'll be seeing my emails more often. And yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Hello again, everyone. My name is Janvi. I'm a third-year civil engineering student here at UBC Vancouver campus.
Awesome. Thanks, John B. So what makes UBC Engineering stand out? Well, UBC is actually one of the most international universities in North America. UBC is one of the top 40 schools in the world and a top school in Canada. In fact, UBC Engineering was ranked #2 in terms of engineering programs in Canada this year. At UBC, we're really focused on continuing to improve our programs, our curriculum, our students, and ultimately the world around us. UBC Engineering, our degree, we call it the Bachelor of Applied Science, or referred to as a BASC for short. That's the degree name. But the name can be named differently as you look at different institutions. But what's important to know, it's accredited. It's an accredited engineering degree that is recognized internationally. So super valuable. We have alumni around the world that are working as professional engineers. We also have alumni that have applied for their post-graduation work permit to remain working in Canada after finishing their BASC degree. So lots of exciting opportunity for you. Yes, ahead in the immediate years for your degree, but moving on into the future. The engineering degree, it truly does provide an exceptional foundation for you moving forward to accomplish your goals and make a difference on this planet. You will be able to go and work on as a professional engineer after graduation, but the degree also allows you to pursue other opportunities. Maybe you want to go into law school or medical school or return to get your master's degree and eventually get a PhD. You have all of these opportunities available to you in the future to look forward to. And yes, of course, work hard for to earn those accomplishments. So why should you choose UBC Engineering? Well, there's so much available to you and so much to look forward to. At UBC, we do have 2 campuses to choose from. And at engineering, we are one faculty spread across both campuses. So the first campus is in Vancouver, city of Vancouver in the province of British Columbia. Vancouver's campus has a more urban setting. It's about 25 minutes from downtown Vancouver proper, which is home to some amazing restaurants, museums, cafes, and more. UBC Vancouver itself, the campus, it's almost considered like its own little city, and in some cases, almost even an island. It's pretty cool. Right on the coast, you'll find banks, grocery stores, pharmacies, restaurants, anything you might need right on campus. If you haven't seen UBC Vancouver's campus before, you can check out virtual campus tours, in-person campus tours, or maybe even a Hollywood movie to see the campus on the big screen. But it's really cool to check out. And we also have the Okanagan campus, located in Kelowna. You can see here on the screen, it's about a 4.5-hour drive, depending on the time of year or weather conditions, or a quick 1.5-hour flight, direct flight to navigate back and forth between the 2 campuses. Kelowna itself is in the Okanagan Valley, surrounded by lakes, forests, mountains, providing opportunities for endless adventure. If you're into hiking, biking, skiing, snowboarding, rock climbing, trying to discover Ogopogo, whatever the case may be, the Okanagan and Kelowna campus might be for you. The campus itself, it's about 20 minutes from downtown Kelowna, and students in downtown Kelowna can enjoy the waterfront, exploring cafes, looking for new study spots, great restaurants to relax, taking a break with friends. If you haven't seen Kelowna before, you can check out some Hallmark movies and maybe see it up there. But between both campuses, you have great access to public transit. You have great access to outdoor adventure, anywhere you may be looking to explore. But ultimately, with these 2 campuses to choose from, we hope that you can find home or a good fit for you in terms of what matters most, given that you have both of those options there. So some exciting stuff to be looking forward to indeed. When we take a look at your first year of studies in UBC Engineering, the Bachelor of Applied Science, the degree name, you are going to have lectures that could be as big as 250 students on the Vancouver campus. In some cases, maybe even 300 students on the Okanagan campus. Not all of your lectures are that large, but some can be. But most of your lectures also have secondary activities. This could be a studio, a lab, a tutorial, a discussion. This is where we take that large lecture size, break you down into smaller groups to facilitate conversation, collaboration, more one-on-one with your instructors, your TAs. This is also a great opportunity for you to form study groups, friends. These secondary activities are super popular and allow you to grasp all that learned knowledge from those lectures. From the very start of your degree, you are going to be exposed to hands-on design projects. You're going to be teaming up, forming teams with your peers in class, simulating what the real world is like as a professional engineer. You're going to have courses year after year that continue to build on those project-based team learning experiences, ultimately culminating in your final year's engineering design capstone project. This is where you and your fellow students, you form a team, you are aligned with an industry partner, a supervisor, as an instructor, and you're solving a real world problem. Companies, associations, neighborhoods submit their problems to engineering, asking for support from current students, fourth year students who are going to design those solutions. Many of our students, they secure job offers out of these capstone projects. Their designs go on to into fabrication and actually make an impact on those communities that they've developed. But you don't want to hear this from me. Let's hear it from a current student. Rosine, can you share with us one of your favorite projects that you've had so far in a course and why it was your favorite?
My favorite project will be the Applied Science 169, the Sustainable Design Project. I enjoyed it because it was more of finding a current problem in the world, in the society, in a specific region, and then trying to find a solution, a sustainable solution, like according to the Sustainable Development Goals. So our group, we were working on the oil control in the oceans for clean water. So we made a marine mat for absorption of oil in the boats. And it was a fun experience because you get to know what the world is actually expecting from you as an engineer.
That's amazing, Rosine. Thank you. And pretty cool to have that experience right off the bat. That's a first year course. So on the Okanagan campus, APSC 169 and 171 are heavy to design themes. Same as on the Vancouver campus, similar courses, just different numbers, APSC 100 and 101. This GIF you can see on the screen here is the design project of a cardboard chair on the Vancouver campus's APSC 100 first year course. So design themes are prevalent in year one and throughout your degree because it's really setting you up for success as you move forward in your life after your undergraduate degree. Slide chipped over there. Yes, there we go. Perfect. Later on in your degree, you are going to have the option to customize your studies. You can add additional studying options onto your degree, like pursuing a minor or a dual degree. This is not a requirement. You don't have to do so, but if you have that extra thirst for additional knowledge outside of engineering, you can apply a secondary focus. Or within the scope of engineering, you can add additional concentrations like options. Maybe you want to pursue biomedical engineering or aerospace, thermofluids, medical devices. There's a whackload of options that are options available to you, and you can customize your degree. Later on in your degree, you can also add on additional experiences like studying abroad through coordinated international exchange. If you can pick up a co-op position and get paid an industry standard wage while you're a student going through that co-op program, lots of great opportunities for you during your degree and to enhance that degree experience. Maybe we can hear from Nachiket. You've been a part of co-op. Can you tell us a little bit more about your personal co-op experience to date?
Yeah, for sure. So I got into the co-op program last year, and for the summer I was searching for a job, and I got a job for the summer, but it wasn't a co-op. And then I got a job for the fall, which was a co-op, and that was working at a company called Moon and Mars, which designs and builds a rocket. So it was in the aerospace industry, an opportunity that I would never have gotten access to without UBC Co-op and App Science Co-op office.
That's amazing, Nachika. Thank you so much. Co-op is very popular and often a hot topic at events like this. Co-op is not required for UBC engineering, but roughly 60% of our students tend to pursue co-op during their degree. You usually apply for the co-op program prior to your second year, or in some cases prior to your third year. So although it is something to get really excited about right now, not something you need to decide right away, similar to what Genevieve was chatting about before choosing your major. Not something you have to worry about right away here, something that comes later on your degree, but there truly is so much to be looking forward to. In addition to your academics, there are much more to be looking forward to. So if we think about UBC, oftentimes on the global stage, we think about research. We are a heavy research institution, and you can gain research experience during your undergraduate degree. Oftentimes, this starts by volunteering in a lab. In some cases, this can lead to a paid position in a lab and even summertime work researching in a lab. This could be multidisciplinary through our undergraduate research conference that takes place across UBC every year, featuring thousands of students and research projects. You could be doing research within engineering or outside of engineering. There's lots of opportunities for research on both campuses in UBC Engineering. McKenna, can we hear a little bit more about some of the research that you have been involved with?
Yes, so starting before my first year, I was a member of a project team called iGEM. iGEM exists at both campuses and is a undergraduate run biotechnology lab. Each year we choose a new project that is based off of the problem we want to solve. So our problem we wanted to solve was related to using bacteria to create light. So we use techniques from bioengineering and regular engineering to build and design new bacteria to that and build a chassis for it. So that was really cool. This summer, I'll be working for one of my professors as a paid work study student, and I'll be doing research in microelectronics, which is also really fun.
That's so cool. Thanks so much for sharing. McKenna, research is definitely a part of UBC Engineering's identity and UBC in general. As international students, a lot of our international students right now and in the last couple of weeks and in this next week are submitting applications for the International Undergraduate Student Research Award. Similar opportunities on both campuses to be gaining similar experience to what McKenna is doing this summer. A work study position, you can get paid to do research in a lab. How cool is that? Thanks, McKenna. If research isn't your thing, though, that's okay. There's so many other ways to get involved. You can explore your interests. You can find new community. Many times your roommate, if you're living on campus in your first year, will become your best friend through that first year and beyond, similar to Genevieve. You'll make a lot of friends in your tutorials, in your labs, or if you're joining different events and stuff. But a huge popular way that students make new friends is by getting involved with clubs. We have over 400 clubs that are campus wide, from a variety of the food you like to eat or the sports you like to watch or the type of dance you like to get involved with. There's so many different clubs that are out there, and if there isn't, you can start your own directly to your own interests. It's super cool. But we also have design teams and engineering clubs. On the Vancouver campus, it's through the Engineering Undergraduate Society. Through design teams, we also have sorry about that. The Engineering Undergraduate Society is a separate club on their own that represents students. We also have the Engineering Society on the Okanagan campus too. There's equity, diversity, and inclusion, indigeneity clubs. There's student-led clubs. There's lots of ways to be getting involved. And yeah, that can be within engineering or outside of engineering. At UBC, we are really working hard to gain more diversity within engineering, and we really do feel that's important. In increasing underrepresented populations in engineering make our teams more diverse, and more diverse teams mean our students are better able to solve problems through multiple lenses to provide solutions that are better for the entire population, not just a fraction of it. And so clubs are a super cool, awesome way to get involved. You can see pictures here on the screen. Top right is from our motorsports club, and the bottom right corner is the concrete toboggan. And I have to give a shout out to UBC Okanagan's concrete toboggan team, who just won that recent competition, one of the longest running engineering competitions in Canada. You can join the concrete toboggan team for Vancouver or Okanagan and get to go to a ski hill and race a concrete toboggan down a hill. How cool is that? Engineers have so much fun. Maybe we can call on Genevieve here. I'd like to hear more about what your favorite club or design team has been to get involved with to this point. And part two, how do you balance that club involvement with your schoolwork?
That's a really good question. Thanks, Kyle. So I have been a part of Canadian Society for Civil Engineers UBC chapter for around 2 years. I started in my second year, and it's mostly about creating or organizing networking events for engineering students, where they have the opportunity to connect with industry professionals and learn about their jobs or their experiences. I really like that because I organized one of the biggest events for civil engineers. That's Industry Night. It's really fun. It's really interesting to talk to people, to industry professionals. And the design team that I'm a part of, the UBC Smart City. So it's a very research and design-based student team, where I'm currently on the design part, where I just work on AutoCAD and CAD with my team. I really like that, and I think we're currently in our design phase for presenting it on a competition. And how I manage it, I think I try to schedule everything in a calendar and put everything that I have to prioritize early and finish it on time, and so that I have time to meet with my friends or my club mates and attend all the meetings. I think that's really fun. Yeah.
Thank you, Genevieve. That sounds so cool. An engineering student taking an engineer's approach to setting up the calendar. What a novel concept. That's so cool. McKenna, can we hear from you? What has been your favorite club or team to get involved with? And also, how do you manage your club involvement and schoolwork?
Absolutely. So I'm the Vice President External of the Engineering Society here at UBC Okanagan. We represent all engineering students at the Okanagan campus. And as my role of VP External, I get to travel around Canada for free. Just a little hint there if you want to see Canada. It's a lot of fun and a lot of work. So I attend conferences, and at these conferences, I communicate with other universities. I also communicate with our 2 national unions. So we ensure that students' voices are heard. We help with new conferences and competitions, such as Conference on Sustainability and the National Canadian Engineering Conference, which is happening right now. We have a team of second-year engineering students from Okanagan campus who are there right now competing in Calgary. At UBC Okanagan, I host fun events and ensure that engineering culture is a big part of our community here. So that could look like hosting competitions or hosting fun networking events and going to different companies and doing tours and such. To get involved, you can volunteer or run for an elected position. In terms of getting work done, I try and map all my stuff out using a calendar and ensure that I take breaks and see my friends and whatnot. But really the balancing is tough at times, but it's definitely worth it.
That's so cool. Thanks for sharing, McKenna. Definitely a perk getting to see all of Canada on Engineering Society's dime. Part of your first year at UBC Engineering, and in that foundational program, you're learning how to learn. You're learning how to time manage and juggle all the responsibilities of those courses and having fun, getting good sleep, eating well, all of the good stuff to maintain a steady path forward. But let's invite Aaron back over. Aaron's going to chat a little bit more about costs that are associated with your UBC degree. Thanks, Aaron.
Perfect. Thanks, Kyle. So yeah, now to focus a little bit more on your finances, because that's always a big question as well. So the best way for you to determine how much your first year is going to cost you is to use our cost calculator online. It allows you to indicate all that applies to you. You can indicate what type of residence room you're planning to live in so that you get an exact cost for all those different pieces. And it'll allow you to determine what all of your fees will be. You can expect each year to cost roughly the same in the amount of tuition, though it might increase by a couple of percent year to year, but it's roughly going to be the same number. So tuition is the same across both campuses, and you can expect to pay about 60,000 Canadian for tuition in your first year. Your additional cost of residence and your meal plan is estimated to be approximately 12,000 to 15,000 Canadian, again, depending on your room type and what all those sort of living expenses look like for you. And that would be for your living expenses from September through April, which is the school year. UBC does also have some great financial support for students. So the second link on the screen here, you can use to learn more about some of the ways that you can actually fund your degree, and we'll talk about some of those right now as well. So many of the scholarships for international students at UBC will have automatic consideration, but I do also encourage you to seek out external scholarships that may be available to you as well. So we'll talk about those in a second. In terms of the scholarships that UBC offers, we have the International Major Entrance Scholarship as well as the Outstanding International Student Award. If you applied to either campus by January 15th, you will be automatically considered for both of those awards. There's also the UBC Okanagan International Welcome Award, and this is an automatic award for all international students who apply to a UBC Okanagan degree listed as your first choice and who are accepted and enroll into that first choice UBC Okanagan program. The $5,000 award is a credit towards your tuition fees for your first year of full-time study on the Okanagan campus. We also have the International Scholars Program, which is a need and merit-based award, and you would have had to apply for this by November 15th. So those are all the main UBC awards. We do have some UBC awards that continue on, or that you may be able to apply to as a continuing student. So as you're going into your second year, as you're going into your third year, for example. But I would also recommend that you search for external awards to UBC. So it may be your local government, it may be your federal government, maybe your parents' work have scholarships, maybe your work has scholarship opportunities, maybe organizations that you're a part of, like sports leagues. All of those may offer some scholarships that you might be eligible for that can help pay for your degree. But I'd also encourage you to search for terms like tech, technology, STEM, or engineering, as there are many awards for international students entering some of these fields, especially if you're a woman searching for women in tech, women in STEM, women in engineering, there are awards as well. And some of those awards will be available to international students. So definitely do some time to kind of search out what may be available to you so that you can fund your degree. Now, we talked a little bit about some of these other pieces already, but some of the other ways that you can kind of make money as a student, other than awards, is that we do have a fantastic work-learn program that allows you to gain paid professional work experience. That's limited up to 10 hours per week while you're in your courses. And as already mentioned, there's also the opportunity for paid research in a lab through our research awards. And we also have the second largest co-op program in Canada, which again allows you to gain paid work experience relevant to your degree. So Rosine, if I can ask you to share more about what your work-learn experience has been like and anything else that you'd recommend to students financing their studies.
I would say, of course, before you, in the application process, you apply for the scholarship. And when I was applying, I applied for the International Scholar Program, and I was awarded the International Impact Award, which was amazing because it's kind of reduced the financial pressure on you. So you can focus more on your studies, and also these awards, they like motivate you to be more because they have like requirements you have to maintain. So you like, they motivate you to stay positive and working towards your degree. And about working while studying, it's a good opportunity because you just work like minimum hours, which doesn't like match with your studies, which is good because you can balance between your studies and your work, and then you're gaining experience while you're studying, and you can work on campus like this with the recruitment events, and it's not like you have spending too much time working. you just spare some time after class to work and get some money. So, but for the first year, I recommend to just explore and then engage in second year.
Awesome. Thank you. And Janvi, you've been a WorkLearn student for a few years now. You've worked for the Engineering Stories team for a couple years. So why don't you share what your experience in WorkLearn has been like? And again, if you have any additional advice for financing your studies.
Thanks, Erin. So I've been part of the Stories team for around 2 years. I worked as a content creator in my last year, which I don't think I would have done if not part of Stories, and I really enjoyed working like that. I think this has been a creative outlet for me outside of courses because I don't have to study or use my brain cells a lot. I think it's really nice. And now as a strategist, I think it's wonderful to work in the back end, and I love the Stories team and the passion they have for the content they create for students. Also, I have had a part-time job in retail ever since I started college, and I think that covers up my additional expenses, all the grocery bills that I can cover it for myself. I think it's been manageable so far, and I kind of enjoy doing it during or the weekends.
Awesome. Thank you both so much for sharing your experiences. So I do want to mention a little bit more about co-op because that is a big question we get. Kyle talked about it a little bit already, but as a reminder, co-op is optional and it allows you to gain paid work experience relevant to your degree. So this will add a year to your degree. So that means a regular 4-year program will take you 5 years to complete, but you'll also complete up to 20 months of paid work experience in positions available across Canada or potentially around the world if that's something that's interesting to you. The Applied Science Co-op program is one office that serves both campuses, so students have equal opportunity for all posted positions. And as mentioned, about half of our students across both campuses choose to participate in the co-op program. The program provides additional resources like how to create a resume, tips for interviewing, and your advisor will support you throughout the whole job search process. Something also fairly unique to UBC is that the co-op fee is the same fee for both domestic and international students. So you're not paying an additional amount as an international student to be part of the co-op program. On the screen, you can see a list of some of the popular employers for each of our programs here. So this can change year to year and is by no means a complete listing, but just so you can see some of the major companies that do tend to hire students from our various programs. The average monthly salary can range from about $3,500 to $5,000 per month. And each work term is typically going to be at least 4 months long. So you can see how that can add up to really help support you in those fees. And again, in total, you'll complete about 20 months of work, and that'll be scheduled on and off throughout your courses as you go through school. So you'll do like a term of courses, a term of work, and that schedule will depend on the program that you're actually studying. All right. So now that we have gone through a few things, a quick kind of reminder of why you applied to UBC Engineering. Hopefully you've been reminded of why you even applied here, why you thought UBC Engineering was good in the first place to submit your application. Let's focus on what your next steps are. So a few reminders of kind of dates and deadlines. Be sure to submit your documents by the deadline. You should be able to upload most of your unofficial documents directly into the Applicant Service Center. Final results will typically need to be sent to UBC directly from your issuing institution, but refer to your email for further instructions or check your ASC because all of the information about any documents that you need to provide, including dates, is going to be listed there. Once your documents are uploaded, our admissions team will then be able to assess your file. For most students, offers will go out in late March or early April, so they're still coming out. Some may have gone out already, but the majority, like I said, is going to be coming out over the next month and a half or so. If you do get an offer of admission, make sure that you accept your offer by the deadline in your offer letter that is available on the ASC. For most students in Vancouver, the deadline to accept your offer is May 1st. And for students going to the Okanagan campus, the deadline is typically June 1st. When you accept your offer of admission, you'll need to pay the acceptance deposit of about $1,000, which will be applied to your first term tuition fees when you register for courses. International students will also need to apply for a study permit after March 31st. So you'll apply for the provincial attestation, and then you'll use that and your offer letter to apply for your study permits. And UBC will be providing more details about that after March 31st. If you do have questions in the process at all, UBC has international student advisors that are registered immigration consultants that can help you with the whole permit process. The last deadline coming up in the next few months is to make sure that you apply for residence. We want you to have somewhere to live. So UBC offers a first-year residence guarantee at both campuses so that as long as you apply by May 1st and are an incoming first-year student from high school, you'll be guaranteed a space in winter session residence. If you're an incoming student that does not qualify for that first-year guarantee, so maybe you're coming into second year, we recommend that you apply for residence as soon as possible unless you already have other living arrangements sorted. In Vancouver, there's two main types of residence. Winter session offers housing from September through April, which again is the school year, and is the main option for first-year students. We also have year-round residence. That is for a year-long contract, and that's going to be primarily for upper year students. In the Okanagan, there are two main types of residence. Winter session offers housing from September to April for both incoming and returning students. And summer residence is where students can apply for either a summer stay through, meaning from the end of April to late August, if you have a current residence contract, or if you want to stay over the summer in summer housing, you can do that as well for students who don't live in residence just yet. So Razine, I'll ask you if you can share a little bit about your experience in residence, any experiences that you really enjoyed, or kind of what your experience was like.
Living on residence was fun because it's first year, like it's a new place and you don't know most of the things like making food, buying groceries, and living in residence helped me because I had the meal plan and I was able to explore the food options they have before I start learning how to make it by myself. And then in second year, I moved to another type of residence where a meal plan is not a requirement, that I can buy my own groceries and cook food. And another thing about living in residence is the access to classes. You just wake up 30 minutes before class and just get ready in time.
Awesome, thank you. And Nachiket, did you want to share what your experience at the Vancouver campus has been like?
Yeah, sure. So I was on campus in my first year. I was at Totem Park Residence, which is winter session residence, and I loved it. It was a great experience. Like, there's so much to keep track of in your first year, especially as an international student, and being surrounded by a bunch of people who are in like the similar classes to you, and having a roommate that you can always talk to. It just helped a lot in my first year experience. It was great.
Great, thank you so much. So we have just a few more slides to get through before we jump into those networking breakout rooms. So I'm going to pass it back to Kyle while I sort through some of those breakout rooms so we can get you in those soon.
Thanks so much, Erin. So there's a couple things to keep in mind. Definitely some ways to be staying connected with UBC Engineering. And so keep an eye out for emails. UBC's main point of contact is through email, and we're sending emails to whatever email you used in your application to UBC. So it's important to check your email regularly. That's part of your responsibility as a university student. That's where we're going to be sharing important information about many things like upcoming events, how you got invited to this one right here. We have many more events coming up throughout the springs in our emails. We also often feature our UBC Engineering ambassadors, and that's who you can connect with, start a chat with, and learn about current student experiences. So these are students that are currently in UBC Engineering on both campuses, who have been involved with design teams or co-op, Go Global Exchange, minors, options, all sorts of different experiences. You can connect with them and learn firsthand what it's been like for them to be a UBC engineering student. They're not there to answer any questions about admissions. If you have questions about admissions, you would contact admissions. They're not there to ask questions about study permits. If you have questions about study permits, you would contact the UBC office on the Okanagan campus or Vancouver campus to connect with an international student advisor, get some support for study permits. If you have questions about your application, just always go to admissions for those types of things. But if you have anything related to specific student experiences, what was it like learning how to make your own meals in first year? I want to chat more to a current student. You can do that with our engineering chat ambassadors. We're also going to be emailing you information about upcoming events. There's the International Applicant event will be a special opportunity for international applicants to speak with current international students. We've got the Changing the World event where women and gender non-conforming high school students get to learn about a career in engineering. There's all sorts of engineering events that are coming, hosted by UBC Engineering and virtual. So you can stay in your sweatpants with your popcorn and your feet up on the couch, get to learn more about your future in UBC Engineering. So the point of all this, monitor your emails, check it closely. It's also where you're going to find out admission updates too. So make sure you're monitoring those emails and you can keep an eye on all the information coming through. Very, very important. We also have ways for you to be getting ready with orientation, different involvements. Once you become a student, there's free tutoring, there's wellness, there's advising, there's financial opportunities, there's teams and teams and teams of staff, professionals here ready to help you get started on the right foot and make sure that you can be successful in your first year and beyond. There are far too many to list, but on any UBC website in the top right corner, there's a little icon with a magnifying glass. It's usually in a blue box or sometimes a white box. It's like a Google search for all the UBC websites, and you can type in your question. I want to know more about scholarships, or when do I apply for co-op, or how do I talk to a counselor? You can type that into that UBC Google search and it'll take you right to the UBC page, or you can come and chat to Aaron and I. If we can't help you out, we can point you in the right direction for sure. You have so much to look forward to in your UBC engineering degree, truthfully, be it inside the classroom, outside the classroom, no matter what your interests are. We are going to be so excited to welcome you to the UBC community as you embark on your future as an engineer. Here's some ways to stay connected. You can screenshot this screen here. you.ubc.ca is our main prospective student website. Everything from your first year cost calculator to admission requirements and everywhere in between. You can learn more about that. Here's some cool engineering websites you can check out, and the YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. That's all our engineering stories where you can go and see a day in the life of an engineering student live and firsthand, not live, but recorded live and then playback after. But super cool stuff. And there's the Vancouver campus and the Okanagan campus if you want to chat more about course planning or program specific type of information. There's folks there ready to help. Genevieve, tell us about some of your highlights being a student, but outside the classroom, even off campus.
I think I would start by saying I love the beaches here in Vancouver. And I live off campus now, so I can go for long walks whenever in between when I'm not studying, I guess. And the restaurant scene in Vancouver is amazing. I think everybody knows, like a lot of people know Vancouver is known for good sushi. So it's really good. And to explore my creative realm, I paint sometimes. And I got into boxing recently with my friends, just on campus, boxing club, which is really fun. And I joined a UBC equestrian club to learn horse riding, just go on trails with a couple of friends. I think it's really fun.
That's super fun. It's important to find that balance, right? To be blowing off steam outside the classroom. Really cool. Lots to offer. How about you, Rosine? What have you been doing for fun or excitement outside of the classroom?
First of all, Kelowna is full of nature, and I love nature. So most of the time after class, not in winter though, I would go for a small walk on the campus trails or the other trails down outside the campus, or go hiking. And I also like to be on the big white in the winter for skiing. It was my first skiing experience, so I'm really enjoying it in these days. Yeah. And also going out downtown and have a small walk along the lake It's really fun.
Thank you so much to all of our current students that attended. We really appreciate this. We could not do these events without you. And thank you to all of our applicants that were here today as well to learn more and get to chat with each other and with our current students.